show. Front bar, thanks to Han. How good. This is a real treat for we children of the 70s. I'll speak for myself in that regard.
Sure.
We grew up watching footy when wingmen were kings. They were great players. There were man-on-man duels.
Giants.
On grounds like the MCG where they just go to war with one another all day long. They were superstars. Every team had at least one great one. Well, tonight from that era, we are joined by arguably the best of them all. Please make him welcome the great Keith Greig. Joining us.
Okay.
Sam,
And I think the last player ever to be named Keith. I'm not sure there's been that many after you.
It's a bit like Kevin.
It's a little bit like Kevin.
Kevin Bartlett, Keith Greig.
Yeah, not many.
Not many.
So many great man-on-man duels, and we'll roll some highlights of your playing days. And the players that you play on speak for themselves. I mean, this was a remarkable career that you had, and so many signpost moments along the way, which we'll get to. Had you played all your junior footy as a wingman?
All my junior footy was either wing centre and a little bit of half forward.
So was it an easy adjustment for you to make once you got to this level and you're playing against some of the greats? I mean, you're in the AFL team of the century, you're on one wing, Francis Burke's on the other, and I imagine you two played against one another on occasions.
We did. Dick Clay as well.
It's just so
a lot of great players I played against in that era.
Did you come from the VFA?
VFA, Brunswick.
Keith, they didn't have wings.
No.
That's why he came to the VFL.
They didn't.
No.
I played half forward. Centre half forward I played at Brunswick.
Oh, really?
So
what was the biggest bag you kicked as a centre half forward?
9.
That'll do.
Whoa! That could have been a great centre half forward.
I mean, all the skills are on display here. You're quick, you're both sides of the body.
You would have gone all right in the... Do you reckon you would have gone all right in the modern day, Keith?
Yes.
Probably with the running side, I would have, I think. Just because the way they're athletes now, the guys who play. So.
You never hit the deck, unless Lee Matthews is knocking you over, and we'll get to that a bit later on. You hardly ever hit the deck. I mean, your balance was unbelievable.
Keep your feet all the time.
Yeah, that was just the mantra, right?
Yeah. And what we always had different types of boots, studs and moulders. So whenever we played, Barassi always wanted to use stud boots.
Yep.
We weren't allowed to use moulders. If we fell over, you'd do 20 or 30 push-ups on Tuesday night.
I got to ask, but anyone who saw you play they just need me to ask this. What were those white things on your ankles? What were they? Because as a kid,
we all
wanted them.
Yes.
And you go, I don't know what they are.
That was for my father. He used to wear them when he was playing for Brunswick City in the Essendon District League, and I just followed on from what he was doing.
What were they?
Give you support for the ankle.
They were a really tight elastic bandage. Rather than having the bandage inside the sock, it was outside the sock.
So you had bad ankles, did you? You needed those for support?
No, just show.
I need to attack his ankles.
Because they did look. Every kid, didn't they? Every kid growing up, Mickey, wanted to have Keith Greig's.
You're wearing them now.
Right.
Hey, I want to. We're gonna it's a wonderful career, and we're actually gonna fast forward to your 300th game. It's an amazing career, and your 300th game though, Keith, was recognised with a huge banner, and the cheer squad went with a caricature, and I'm not sure they nailed it, by the way. I'm not gonna look. It's not a great likeness, Keith.
Are you saying that's like me, or I'm like it?
Is that you or one of the Golden Girls? Put it up again. It could be David Letterman.
It's either Letterman or it's either Roos from the Golden Girls. I'm not really sure. But you had to run through that when you were going towards it.
Look at that. What's the MBE for? Services to shepherding? What was the MBE?
It's a member of the British Empire.
And what'd you get that for?
Service to football.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
When did they give you that? Was there an incident, or was it just for your wonderful career? But I don't know of any other footballer who's got that.
The government got in touch with North to see if I would accept the award, and of course they then forwarded on to me, would you take it? And I said, yes, I would. The interesting part about that is Princess Anne came out about 3 or 4 years later, and she was having a turn at the government house, and they said, would you like to come and be as part of the crew? And I said, no, I've got a North Melbourne function.
Tell her to get down there.
Fantastic.
Tell her I'll meet her
So-
at Arden
A member of the
Street.
British Empire.
So one of the remarkable things, you're 9 games into your career, 1971's your first year, you're 9 games in, and then you get picked to play for Victoria.
Say that again. 9
games into your career, there you are there wearing the... Now, I tried to find crowd figures today. A lot of the reports you said it was a sellout. Do you remember how many people... It looked absolutely heaving, the MCG.
Yeah, it was massive. A lot of people there. And as you said, first game for myself and also Jeff Southby, who I think played 9 games, had played as well.
And the first game you'd ever played at the MCG?
First game at the MCG.
So how did you get told that you'd been
Astonishing.
picked in the Victorian team?
I got a phone call from the club saying, you're playing for Victoria on Saturday. That was it.
And that was it?
That was it.
And was it overwhelming when you got out there? And
Not really.
yeah.
Not that I took it in my stride, but it was something that I wasn't expecting. And then it just all happened. So
Unbelievable.
That happened.
And then a couple of years later, you win the first of your 2 back-to-back Brownlows in 73 and 74. I mean, these were the golden years of the Brownlow. The Southern Cross,
fantastic.
chaos and movement all over the place and the captains up the top.
Yeah.
Did you go into 73 thinking you were a chance of winning?
Not really. The thing about the Brownlow back in those years was they kept all the votes to the very end, so they were shuffling the votes so that at the end it wasn't round by round. So it came that the guys who were most likely to win the last 5 or 6 votes.
Yep.
And that's how they did it.
Geez,
That's
mate, it
how-
looks like a fun night. Gee, man, look, it looks...
Oh, no, I went to one.
Well, it's nerve-wracking if you're there and you're part of the top, the guys that have got a chance of winning.
Well, 74, you were you won. That was your second.
Yep.
But you were Kevin Bartlett was the favourite,
Yes.
wasn't it? And you defeated him. How was that received in the room by the Richmond faithful?
Not well. Not well.
He was a white-hot favourite, wasn't he?
He was. He won
Yeah.
every award.
Yeah.
I bobbed up. I didn't know until about 2 or 3 days later there was actually a bit of a scuffle in the ballroom of the Southern
That
Cross.
doesn't sound like the Richmond officials I know from that, from that era.
Who was the scuffle between?
I think the chap at Richmond was Max Presley, Alan Johnson and Max Ritchie.
All right.
Weren't happy.
They just punched on in the...
Punched on.
Tell you what,
It was a
those
different time,
Well,
Sam.
you made a better time, by the way.
No, spirited. No, absolutely spirited.
The
back in
Brownlow
those
coverage of the moment could...
Do in the middle.
Disagree with that.
Yeah, don't you reckon?
So 71's your first year of what became a glorious career as a North Melbourne player, and Ron Barassi joined a couple of years later in 73. I mean, one of the giants of the game alongside yourself. Could tell us about the influence that Barassi had on your footy club?
Well, we were all very young when he first came to the club. And of course, he had all that success. So a bit awestruck, really, of what was happening. We've got Barassi as the coach, and we're trying to fulfil and live to what he's preaching and telling us how to play footy. We did the 1%ers and all that thing before the season started, and how you don't do this and don't do that. Always had to carry a football with us in the car, so you were touching it all the time. So all those sort of things led into the season we had.
He was notoriously a hard taskmaster, and he could deliver a vicious spray. And he particularly used to take to you. You were on the receiving end of a couple of beauties.
Yes.
Keith, you've done the typical bloody thing. The ball's gone over. You could have run and intercepted that first goal, or second goal, what it was, and you probably don't even know what I'm talking about, do you? Bloody right.
Walk us through it.
He was right. I didn't know what he was talking about.
Can you just, for those of us who never copped a spray from the great man, what's it like to be in the headlights?
Look, I didn't mind the sprays about footy, but it's all the personal stuff that sort of got to me towards the end.
Yeah.
And I had a meeting with him after
You
the
did.
79 season and said, if this keeps up, I'm out.
What?
Yeah.
You said to Barassi, if you keep lining me up,
I had a
I'm
meeting
out.
in Ron Joseph's office after the 79 last game, and we called him in, and I was in there with him, and I said, if you're going to keep on doing what you're doing, I'm out. He said, what do you mean you're out? I said, well, I'm not going to play here anymore. I'm going to try and go to Carlton.
Oh, Keith. Oh, Keith.
Yeah.
Oh, you know how to hurt. You can play. You can.
So what happened then? He said, what do you want me to do? I said, just leave me alone and leave me to my works and what I do in footy. 1980, never spoke to him.
For the whole year?
For the whole year. We acknowledged each other as we passed, nod, and that was it.
How'd you go that year?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, you won the Sid Bark. You won the best and fairest.
and fairest.
Yeah, so you went okay.
You know what? After this show, we might have a
No, we
meeting.
should try that. I'm happy to try that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all.
Can you tell Sam I'm happy to give that a go?
So Carlton
Can I just be...
Carlton won 79. They would have won 80 and 81 and 82. You would have been... don't worry.
Don't worry about it.
That's to be fair, can I just defend your old coach, by the way? I know that was a great spray that he gave you, but this one here that he gave Daryl Sutton. Now, listen, the great thing about Ron Barassi, he could absolutely... He was brutally berating you, but he'd also clarify and give a reason.
Daryl, you are a I'll tell you why.
Hey, I don't mind personal attacks as long as you tell me why.
Explain yourself.
That's the key.
Yeah.
The good thing about him, though, was if he gave you a serve, you could walk in the club rooms an hour later and he wouldn't think any more of it.
Yeah, right.
It was all past and gone under the bridge.
Can we just point out, boy, that's Barras mic'd up. Can you imagine if he wasn't mic'd up?
Exactly.
When he was giving you a serve, did you ever remind him you had an MBE?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Let's get on to the good stuff.
75.
Let's get on to 75.
So it all comes together in 75. But this is a magnificent
Look at
team
that
you're part of.
Yeah.
Keith.
Wow.
Characters in this team that you're part of, and the great players. The 5-year rules, but the 10-year rules been invoked. You were at the peak of your powers. You'd lost 74. Can you remember much about the build-up to the 75 grand final?
Honestly, I can't. The only thing I can remember is there when Barry Davis got the cup and we started to do a lap at the end of the game, and then going back to the Southern Cross.
Look at these
and
scenes.
Back at Arden Street.
Yeah,
on the
these
back
are
of a semi-trailer.
fantastic scenes.
Back of a semi-trailer.
Unbelievable.
of celebration. Here's the players letting their hair down. There's Maggie Thatcher is there.
Barras gave her a big serve. Everyone.
Just checking up on your MBE. Princess Anne, I think, was there.
You played in that was 75 you won, but you played in 5 grand finals, the club in a row.
Successive years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Should you have won more?
Yeah, the talent we had coming through the doors was unbelievable. But then again, if you speak to the Hawthorn guys, they say they should have won more in that time too.
Well, let's talk about 76, where you were the subject of a couple of murderous incidents from the great Lee Matthews. Here's the first, and this bang, that hurts. That's the first of 2. Wow.
I don't know how you got up from
and
that.
here's a second one. Now, you tell me, Keith, do you think Lee was targeting you? do you think Hawthorn may have had a chat and said, this is their best player, we need to make sure he doesn't walk off this field?
We knew he was going to not be like that, but I was given the task of playing on him in that game in the back pocket, in the forward pocket. I knew when the handball would come from Paul Faltham, I knew people were coming. You just had to keep on going. And knowing it was Lee, well, good luck.
Can I just suggest that is no way to treat a member of the British Empire?
No, that is a very good point. That is an excellent
point.
Well, Lee should be better than that.
I would have thought at the tribunal that was an open and shut
well,
case.
he was reported, yeah.
But remember, it's just a simpler time and the verdict may not have gone your way.
Matthews appeared before the league tribunal on a striking charge but was cleared on a technicality. Umpire Della reported him for using his left hand instead of his right against Greig.
Well,
nothing to see here. Coast clear.
if only there was video footage.
Exactly. Hey, Keith, don't go into this. There's plenty more we want to talk to you about. It's a spectacular career and we're loving you being part of the show. Keith Greig's going to stick with you. Thanks to Hart. How good after this? Welcome back to the show. I think the three of us up here agree the greatest kick in the history of footy. Malcolm Blight, Princes Park, 1976 against Carlton.
Now,
Mickey, it may never have happened without it.
You have front row seats to this, and you come up at this point. Malcolm seems confused.
Siren's gone.
Siren has gone. Here you come, and you give him advice. What did you say to Malcolm before the greatest kick in AFL history?
I said to him, for God's sake, kick a point, will you?
Yeah.
He ended up kicking a goal. But interestingly, before this goal,
Look at this.
he kicked some of
Boom shakalaka.
2 amazing goals before that.
He
too.
did.
Yeah. To get us back into that position where he kicked that winning goal.
Well, you were standing right next to him. Could you see straight away with the big goal?
It's massive.
Could you tell, like, the sound of it off his boot? Did you know that he hit
I've
it
actually
beautifully?
tried to measure it. I've actually been to Princess Park and walked it.
And what have you
I
marked
reckon
it out
it's
at?
probably 80.
Yeah. And it went through post high.
According to Malcolm, it's 120. But as you say, 80.
I reckon 80.
It was the most.
I look at that footage and I just feel like a Craven cigarette.
No, you don't.
Oh, you're not anymore.
No, you don't.
advertising.
No,
Why
it
not?
does.
Oh, okay.
Is it
No,
the best,
you don't.
the best kick you've ever seen?
Yeah.
Yep. North Melbourne had its 150th anniversary celebration in 2019, and a great honour was bestowed upon you, rightfully so. The top 10 players in the history of the footy club, and you came in at number 2 behind the great Wayne Carey, of course. Keith, there's hardly an honour that can be bestowed upon a footballer that hasn't been bestowed upon you, but how does that sit with you? Second...
Terrifically.
Yep.
Carey is by far, I think if you spoke to any other player or any other supporter of any other club, they would also say that Carey is number 1 at North, and that goes without saying.
Yep.
The next 2 to 20 you could throw in the air, and wherever they landed, you'd be happy with that position.
I think you've been...
Well, that's very humble.
Yeah.
That's very humble. That's probably something Malcolm Blight could learn. Because we had Malcolm on this program and I asked him about his position as 6th, and he wasn't quite so generous. I'm going to say it. I don't think that's high enough. I had over you at least top 4 at North. You would have yourself higher than that, no doubt.
Probably humility would have one time stopped me from saying that, but yes, you're right.
I'll put him on the podium. He's there. He's in the top 3, I reckon.
Just pure talent. Was he as good a player as he ever played? Like just pure football talent. Yeah.
Just do all the things that a lot of people would like to do and can't, but he had it on the string most of the time.
Yeah.
Keith, you played in a wonderful era of footy, and an era where I would think that footy cards may have been at their nadir. Because this one here of you, look, you just look shocked, mate. I don't know what. It's like the photographer took you by surprise, or are you a vampire?
That's worth $3 that card now.
What's that?
That's worth $3 that card now. So.
That's the Scanlons as a one. That was a good era. The Scanlons.
Scanlons. That was a top era.
And
he does look shocked, though.
Vampire-y in that one. What are you? 612.
You're right. He does look shocked.
You got all your footy cards?
Yes.
Yes, I respect that, Keith. I've got a theory though as to why you may have looked a little bit shocked at being taken because.
Why is that?
I reckon you may have seen your teammate Wayne Schimmelbusch have his photo card taken. That is
What is going on?
Mickey, I look at that. I know that's a great Wayne Schimmelbusch, and I feel like slipping $20 into his shorts.
I don't know what he's.
What's he doing?
I don't know what he's doing. Did you?
They were the poses you had to do for the photographers.
Hold on. I would just say I'm Wayne Schimmelbusch. I'm not doing that. We didn't have to do that. Have that pose.
What's the socks he's wearing? They're not even North Melbourne socks. There's a guy running laps in the background. I don't think you've thought these through.
Well, if you're getting $20 a card, you'd do anything, wouldn't you?
You would indeed.
That's extraordinary.
Well,
Keith, we haven't had this for a couple of weeks, so it's a joy
it's back.
to have it back. It's time now for
was in
Sand Trip
hiatus.
Just wet the whistle, make sure I'm fresh.
Sounds like you're bunkering in for a
Well,
bit.
we've got a bit. I've got the great Keith Greig here.
There's a snort in the
It's a
crowd.
big thrill. Big thrill
4
for
or
us.
5 questions should do.
Yep.
Wouldn't have thought so. I got. You know how drip tray works, don't you, Keith?
I do.
You know, just I'll ask some questions, short, punchy answers. You can pass if you want.
Yep.
Okay. Toughest opponent.
They're all tough.
That's not what, mate. No.
Can I ask? Can I?
Robert Flower, did you ever play on
please.
Robert
Sure, was
Flower?
a great player.
What a
always
player.
Always hard to beat.
Well, some of the great wingmen that you played against. Instead of, you don't have to name your toughest, but it was a golden era. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was. Mickey Turner, Kenny Fletcher, Val Perovic.
Brian Wood.
Brian Wood. Yeah.
Val Perovic went on to be a centre half back in a premiership winning team.
Played in the wing at St Kilda.
Yep.
Yep.
Jeff Cunningham, was he
Great
tough?
player.
Yeah, he was a good
Yep.
player.
Yep.
Yeah, good player. And then we had all the blokes from Fitzroy came through, and then South Melbourne, Carlton.
Dougie
Brian
Hawkins?
Quirk.
Dougie
Dougie Hawkins early in his career.
Yes, yeah.
So a lot of great players.
Great wingman. Oh, sorry, sir.
Really good.
May I?
It's good. All right, this has been Drip Track.
No.
No, sorry.
I've got good stuff here.
Sorry,
I've got good stuff.
On behalf of the two of us, I'm
let's
sorry about that.
pick it up.
We're just excited about having Keith.
No, I'm excited too.
Yeah, right.
We saw Barassi, Keith.
Yes.
What about a coach you'd wish you'd been coached by?
Oh, yeah.
Tom Hafey.
He would have been tougher than Ron, wouldn't he?
He was a player's coach.
Yeah,
Tom Hafey.
absolutely. Unlike
Oh,
pre-match
hey, he was a Richmond legend.
pre-match routine.
I used to sit in the corner, like Johnny go and sit in the corner, and just kept away from everybody. And that's probably why they
Were you
sacked
getting
me
in the
as captain.
zone? Were you getting in the zone? Did you listen to music or
no,
anything?
just relaxed and sort of zoned out.
Really?
Well, you didn't like training, did you? You didn't like sort of training.
I didn't mind the training side. I didn't like the running,
Right.
which is training.
Well, lucky it's not a big part of the game, Keith.
No, that's it.
Who was your favourite teammate? Just your favourite, good guy, good company.
Good guy,
Yeah.
Mick Nolan.
Oh, Mick Nolan. Oh, yeah.
The galloping gasometer.
Yep.
Right. All right, that's some hard-hitting footy stuff. Now we'll just get to... What's your favourite movie?
Godfather.
Oh, strong.
Jeez.
1, 2 or 3?
One.
Yeah.
One.
Have you seen 3?
Yes.
What do you think?
As they go on, you sort of get to know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
The first one, I thought, was exceptional.
Yeah,
Outstanding.
it's a good... all right, favourite TV show growing up?
Mickey Mouse Club.
That's a fair answer.
Got the great Keith Greig here, and he says Mickey Mouse
Well, he
Club.
was a kid. He was a
Growing
kid.
up,
He was
yeah.
a kid
Bombshell.
once upon a time.
First car, Keith?
H.R. Holden.
That sounds...
What colour?
Blue.
okay. This is not your first car. What number car is this? This is yours.
Oh, hell.
Let's look at that one.
That was my second car.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez,
How many speeding tickets did you get in that?
Quite a few. Quite a few.
did you
That's
buy
a
did
good
you,
car.
How long did you have that one? Did you buy that? That's a bold choice in colour.
Well, I bought it 2 years after the HR, and then I had it for 2 years, and then a truck ran into my wife in the car and smashed it, so I didn't get it back.
All right, I'm not going to lie, that's taken a bit of a turn.
We don't want to.
Don't worry, I'll get...
No one got it. and boy, Drip Tray's out in some deep water right now. So,
Don't worry.
It's a great thing about
Don't
Drip
worry.
Tray.
It's a great thing about Drip Tray because there's always another question coming, and I'll get us back.
You never know where you're going to go.
Exactly.
This would be a good time for favourite colour.
Don't be silly. Favourite. What's your favourite food? What's your favourite food, Keith?
Favourite food? Schnitzel.
I love a schnitzel.
Chicken or veal?
Chicken.
Oh,
Yeah, nice.
that's controversial.
No, veal would have been controversial. Chicken,
Yes.
good to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any hobbies, Keith Greig?
No hobbies.
No hobbies.
No hobbies.
Geez, you're very strong on that, by the way. It's like an aggressive
Well, hey,
no. I
what
don't
do
have
you
any
do, what do you
hobbies.
do in your free time?
At work.
He's still working as a
Still
plumber.
No. When you're working, you're working. When you're not working, what are you doing?
Work.
I can see why Barassi didn't like it.
I reckon he's making a suit out of human skin. he just can't tell us at the moment. He's got...
All right. What
What are you
about?
up to, Keith Greig?
Geez, I've got so many here. What about?
Let's just try one more.
No,
One more.
two more.
No,
Give me
one more.
2 more.
No.
Oh, come on.
I don't know why you handcuffed me, but anyway, that's fine. Can you remember a nice thing that Ron Barassi ever said to you?
No, not really.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up.
Let's
One
wrap
to
it
go.
up. Favourite colour?
Magenta.
So that, we
That's the
know
same as the car. That's the same as the car.
No, I'm joking.
No, that's it.
Royal blue.
Royal, of
No,
course.
sorry, Keith. I've got to take your first answer. Keith, the last one. It's my big finish. Keith Greig, what's your favourite vegetable?
Peas.
Peas are beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, like with a mint salt.
No, just normal peas.
Team that with a schnitzel, and you are
that's
home and
great.
home.
Exactly.
All right,
Variety of uses too,
yeah.
Pete.
All
Are
right.
you done?
I've had enough. Okay, that was Drip Tray.
Keith, right on, Sam.
Good stuff.
Let's go.
Keith, as soon as we knew you were coming on the show a few weeks ago, we were all excited. It's been an absolute joy to meet you for the first time, and thanks for letting us share some time with you tonight. We really appreciate it. Keith Greig, our special guest. The multi up next. Don't go anywhere. We're here for Han. How good?
All right, Jake.
Great.